Oh, well, baby gorillas. I don't even know if this is working. There's old Anus. Anus. Probably cheated to win. Because the Labour Party are full of cheaters. So, sometimes when I say things, let me just check this is working first. Let's just make sure I'm actually streaming. There's so many variables that are not working just now. Look at this guy. We've got an Islamofascist now taking over the UK. It's absolutely rotten. Here we go. Here we go.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story with a professional website that reflects who you are and what you have to offer. Customize every element of your website to meet your needs and achieve your goals. Create a unique visual experience that enhances your product and amplifies your message. Expand your website with content that pushes your business forward. Share content that matters to your audience. And present it the way you envision it, from the biggest ideas to the smallest details. Your website, your voice, your platform.
Sorry, George. I have to take a...
Keep going.
And then he just peeled it in one. No breakages. It was like he knew the Satsuma intimately. It's like nothing I'd ever seen.
The rind was a completely consistent width throughout.
And the pithy bit, clean off.
Clean off.
Clean off. And then he just peeled it in one. No breakages.
It's a bit weird. All a bit weird. So why is that not letting me blog on this? Why is it coming out? That is very strange. We'll get to that later on. Very, very strange. Why is that not open in view profile? Nah, I'll leave that till later. Anyway, let's carry on. So, I totally understand that I say things that can come across as a bit extreme to those who may be not paying as much attention to politics as I do. Could come around and people could say, Dave, I don't know why you said that, that's a bit extreme. Case in point.
Well, hello, baby gorillas, and after next year's Scottish election, we have found out the location of the Labour Party's autumn conference. I think a couple of paedophiles could fit in there.
Now, David, why did you say that a couple of paedophiles could fit in there? It's a bit extreme. Is it extreme language? Or is it truthful language? So let's have a quick look, shall we? Let's look at this. Let's go on to the Wikipedia page and let's have a wee look at this. I like this bit. Online TV channel, centrist libertarian or libertarian liberal, or some people call classical liberal, political channel, free speech, anti-authoritarian. Love it. Absolutely love it. And the number of followers has shot up. And I'll give you a wee reflection why. You guys saying anything? Let me just say my hellos. You guys know you're very quiet. Let me just would I want to close? What window do I close? Not quite sure. Somebody say hello and just make sure I've closed the right one. Wonder if I should close both and then open up. Close both. Close. We'll just leave one open just in case anybody's actually here. Please wait. We recommend. Please unable to connect. Alright, well, let's get that rid of that. How do I open this up? Content, live, content. Is it up the top? Where is it? Stream. Oh yeah. So change dashboard. Okay, let's pop the chat here. Pop out chat. At least it's the right one. Error and duplication. So let me know if you guys are getting this. Let me move this down slightly. And make sure that this is actually working okay. We know what they're like. It's absolutely, oh yeah, getting horrendous. So change dashboard. So let me know if you guys are getting this. So let's have a wee look and see what I was talking about. So 2 men who gang rape and killed a 12-year-old girl in Somalia are publicly executed by firing squad chosen by the girl's father, who inspected bodies to make sure they were dead. And that's obviously what's happening in Somalia. Now they just come over here and do it over here and spend 10 months in jail. So there's some great stuff. Let me just get to the correct part. So now the ethnic cleansing is going complete. White British children are now a minority in 1 in 4 schools. And here we have, there's some great things here by this fella. And Raja is doing some tremendous work. In fact, I'm going to try and get one that's specific. Let me just try and get this. There's tons. You just go into the Twitter handle and you'll be able to see all these. Labour MPs complicit.
What we discovered is that members of the grooming gangs...
So this is Andrew Gold's podcast.
Key figures in the communities whilst he was abusing the girls.
Wow.
He liked the girls to call him daddy. Sources from within the Labour Party contacted me. This guy was one of ours. The Islamists have infiltrated the Labour Party. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
And the Green Party and Reform. So we've got Islamists in every political party now.
Conspired with each other to keep news of grooming gangs hidden, operating in the town. This man was the leader of the council. He's now a Secretary of State. We know, the police know, we don't care. I was horrified. So they use public funds to fund the mosque.
Wow.
We know, the police know, and we're allowing them to rape your children by the Labour Party.
The mosque has an arrangement with the council. The mosque was run by members of the Labour Party, and there was a cosy arrangement through which the mosque then supplied postal votes. And what I'm sharing...
So your children are getting raped for postal votes from the Muslim mosques. So that's why we've got a bunch of retards in positions of political office in the UK, because they've imported people, because no normal person would vote for the Labour Party because it's full of retards and paedophiles. And now they have had to import a religion that supports paedophilia.
Sharing with you is...
Would the people at the top of the Labour Party be aware of this?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Starmer would know this
100%,
is going on.
100%. It got even more sinister. Please tell us our children are safe.
So they're now people who have been allowed to come here in Scotland, standing outside children's playgroups and play parks. Police know, the Labour Party know, and they're using it as a voter bank and don't give a shit about your children. And you all voted for Aenus and Hamilton. I mean, how stupid do you need to be? So you're supporting paedophile grooming gangs. That's what you're doing, voting Labour.
Just quickly, last month...
And also the SNP. Don't forget the SNP have covered it up in Scotland. I'm going to leave that there. Let me just show you this. Look at that Bobo. He's for the high jump. Let me just get rid of that in case anybody tries to look at that. Oh, that's going to be great. Again, let me get rid of that. Where is this? Let me just try and get this. Let me just try and get this one. Just give me 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. Monetize. Where is that? Where is the thing that I need to look for? Boom. So, where is it? I'm looking for something specifically here. I know about that.
Heracesna.
How am I spelling this? What is the spelling?
Heracrisht. Heracesna.
So there's Anis Sarwar. I'll come back to Anis later on. We'll stick to the paedophiles. Here we go. So, here's part number one. Well, I put this. So, this is Anas Sarwar's uncle. Anas Sarwar's uncle.
Now, what has happened here repeatedly, we are told, is that police...
Anas Sarwar's uncle is a convicted paedophile, giving advice to the police at Rotherham, who had a big breakout of child rapes by the Muslim Pakistani community. But we've just heard that from Raja that the Labour Party know, the police know, and it's been facilitated by the people that you're voting for, all the people that voted for the Labour Party in Hamilton. And this is Anas Sarwar's uncle here, advising the police in 1999, who's a convicted nonce himself. I don't know why he's not been stripped of his peerage, advising the police on the Asian community and the Muslim community raping kids.
And that is the fact that when I first trained as a lawyer, one of the first things I learnt in the criminal law was that it was impossible for a girl under the age of 16 to consent to sexual intercourse in any circumstances. Now, what has happened here repeatedly, we are told, is that police officers were visiting...
So, don't forget, the Muslim community know that they're a paedophile community, but they're quite happy, and it's now being facilitated by the police and by the local councils and by the Labour Party and Anas Sarwar's uncle, who you just voted for in Hamilton, that's advising the police, who has been convicted 5 years in jail for paedophilia, of how not to be paedophiles.
Premises where young girls, 12, 13, 14 years old, were found with a number of adult men, whether they were Asian or not, doesn't matter, they're adult men. And the police officers apparently were saying, well...
No, it does matter, because if they're Muslims and they believe in having sex with underage girls, and they believe in sex slaves, and they believe in raping women, they're pro-raping non-Muslim women, then it does matter. This is a religiously and racially motivated rape.
She's consented, that's all right, we'll go away. Does every single officer in the South Yorkshire Police Force now understand that in no circumstances at all can a girl under the age of 16...
But they don't believe that. They believe in the religion that overturns... so they've got no respect for UK law. They believe that their law of raping children should overcome the law of the land. So they're not fitting in. They're basically raping kids. They don't care if they go to jail and because it's a paedophile belief structure.
Give consent to sexual intercourse, and if that situation is found again, can we be absolutely guaranteed?
See, none of the Muslim guys were clapping there because they know that they're paedophiles.
Any men
or if not paedophiles themselves, certainly paedophile adjacent or paedophile followers
involved or on the scene are immediately arrested and prosecuted, because this...
He's nodding his head there, but he's like, we'll just tell him off camera not to bother, and that's what's been going on. So Anas Sarwar's paedophile uncle is agreeing there, but behind the scenes he's advising the police to allow this to continue.
If this had been done 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this scandal would not have arisen. It is, and
allegedly,
as a Conservative, it's very difficult for me to criticise the police. We usually like to be on the same side, but in this
so does the Muslim community to corrupt it.
Case, I feel the police have let us down very badly indeed, and we need to be ensured that every officer now understands what the law is. It's very clear and very easy.
So as I said, this is Anas Sarwar's paedophile uncle, Lord Ahmed.
It's clear and easy, Jason, and indeed it is, isn't it?
Yeah, well, firstly, again, the issues that were raised from the past are part of the independent investigation. So, again, people held to account why they made that decision and why they didn't take action.
So no police officer, no social services, services have ever been prosecuted on this. No Labour councillor has ever been held to account.
The second part is that all operation officers, not just in Rotherham but in South Yorkshire, have had additional training now. So it's very clear about how we need to protect young people whether it be a victim of child sexual exploitation,
apparently it's still going on to this day, so they haven't done anything.
Neglect or anything else. But the bottom line is, yes, the law is, as you stated, is anybody under the age of 16 cannot consent, and therefore we need to take action, and that is taking place now.
So they've not done that for about 40 years since the Muslims started coming over. About 40 years they've not done that.
Let's not talk about any of the...
So that's that. Waiting to see this. You guys here? Yeah. In my post offensive. Yeah. And apparently some of the videos and all that, you have to change the settings to most liked, or some of the videos are. So here's Big Mo Headscarf talking about having sex with 5-year-olds. So they all know that there is a paedophile religion. So
if you look just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran at all. If you just read the Quran, it is halal, it would be halal to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. Chapter 65, verse 4. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us who you can divorce and who you cannot divorce. And then he says, وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ. And
so
the one...
as I said, and Nigel said that I shouldn't be involved in the political party, that this is a paedophilic religion, this is a child rapist religion. So even there's more than that. It's not just a child rapist religion, it's a rapist religion as well. So knowing that Anas Sarwar swore on the Quran, hold on.
Ones who had never been pubescent before. And by the way, this is very important, yeah? I want all Muslims to be aware of this. The reason why we don't have sexual intercourse with 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds or whatever is not because of puberty.
So as I said, it's absolutely disgusting. So I've already said this and I've told you guys, and then you vote for Anas Sarwar to be elected, who's actually doing this to kids in Scotland. And I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. So here's sex
explain
slavery.
To this at all, or can we understand anything about consent from this end? Like, does the female slave have to consent to that, or is it kind of like because she's owned and so therefore?
In the classical thought, the understanding is that by virtue of the fact that she's owned, she does not have the right to consent. Or to withhold herself from her master. The master has the full right over her, and her consent does not play anything in this relationship. We should understand that in the ancient world, women did not have many rights, and even marriage was not as we might expect it today, like a relationship of equality between spouses. So in the Quran itself, a woman is, her husband is referred to as her Baal, which literally means her Lord. The interpreters thought of female slaves as having a secondary status, even below this, and...
So now they're talking about if you're not in the child rapist death cult, that you can be taken as a sex slave. This is Haris Sultan, he's a Pakistani, so he already knows this. This is what's happened in 2015, covered up by the SNP, the grooming gangs. This is Labour blocking plans for a grooming gang inquiry because they know that this is true. This is Labour grooms. This is the GOAT Alex Jones. I honestly can't believe I can't find this. Where? So this is Patrick Hewitt back to NCL policy of lowering the age of consent. The Labour Party are not a paedophile party. I mean, you only have to look at some of this and I actually see. But I'll get even closer to this. So here we go. Here's somebody who's a
9-year-old child. And what? Did Mohammed marry a 6-year-old child? Did he have sex with a 9-year-old child? And what? Right, that's paedophilia.
and it's against UK law to have sex with somebody who's under 16. So by the police not taking action, they're not enforcing the UK law, and they're allowing child rape by people who are in a child rapist death cult, which is exactly what I said. So they know it is.
Yeah. If you are a man and you have sex with a 9-year-old child, that's paedophilia. Yes, it is. To consent to marriage, you need to be a mature adult, don't you?
Yeah.
A mature adult is not a 6-year-old. Are you telling me that a 6-year-old is a mature adult? Let's worry about a 6-year-old child. She was prepubescent at the point of marriage. The nikah was given at 6. She hit puberty at 9. That means Mohammed married someone who, by your definition, was a child. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
Right. Do you agree with child marriages?
Yes.
Do you agree with child marriages?
I'm not going to deny it.
Do you agree with child marriages?
Yes!
Right.
So that's illegal in the UK. And what the Labour Party are doing, not only is Anis's family raping kids, but he's facilitating it. You're facilitating it by the fact of voting for them. And it's really down to the voters. So you voted for this. So this is what I was going to show you.
In Oldham has concluded. The major report into grooming and sexual exploitation in Oldham has concluded that the police and local councils failed to protect some children.
The assurance review confirmed that Oldham Council's licensing committee on multiple occasions issued taxi licences to known sex offenders, including those that had abused our children.
In one case, a 12-year-old girl was raped multiple times after going to the police to report a previous attack.
It's a Manchester Mayor. You've been informed that hundreds of paedophile sex offenders have been let free on the streets of Greater Manchester in full knowledge of the police, because that's what's been confirmed, in full knowledge of the police. The investigation against them has shut down, and they've gone on to groom and gang rape thousands of our children.
And the statement that you made on the 24th of October, that the CPS had failed grooming victims, that's a very serious statement from the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Everybody knows we are going to vote against this motion. We voted against it last time, and we're open about what our position is on this.
Just think about how many police officers have lost their job, how many councillors have lost their job, how many MPs have lost their job. Not only that, social services, how many of them lost their jobs? Care home assistants, how many of them lost their job or ended up in prison?
And speaking to those people and how it has affected their lives, and you can't say it's destroyed their lives, because the people I spoke to, it hasn't, but it has had an impact into adulthood.
In 2006, a 12-year-old girl went into this police station. She reported that she had been molested in a local graveyard. The police officers here told her to sober up and come back later. As she left, she was accosted by 2 further men who took her away in a car and raped her. They gave her money for a bus fare and dropped her in the streets in this town in Greater Manchester. She was picked up by another man. He also raped her. He then abandoned Sam again in another street in this town, and another man picked her up, Shakil Chowdhury. He also raped her. It was an appalling ordeal. Now,
And Councillor Barnes and I suppose Councillor Hoban have said it. Councillor Barnes and Councillor Hoban have said it. And we're all elected, and the reality is, I make a decision and we make a decision on what we choose to do.
These children were known to agencies with a duty of care to protect them, yet they were failed. These children were chronically absent from school, yet they were failed.
Let us remind you of the social services, the police, the protection agencies, the councillors, the MPs, within all areas of England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that have failed these poor, innocent young girls and boys.
Are the children of Scotland safe?
As I've said, the details in this case are horrific.
So they're not doing anything. They're just, we need more people, and it doesn't matter the quality or what we're doing to the indigenous population. They're just taking completely the opposite side and ignoring it.
But I understand that the case review that is taking place will be there to
did nothing.
Learn lessons. And
where have we heard this before? Lessons learned.
I've passed details of people who are engaged in child trafficking into the UK. Names of all those. They've gone to the government. Nobody wants to act. Nobody wants to act about it.
They call this justice. He raped young victims for over 10 years, pulled their nails out if they tried to escape.
The deliberate attempts to lie and to conceal, and not just by one person either, but this was systemic. This was by government, by civil servants and by healthcare professionals.
And the kind of the world woke up to what we are now probably known as the worst child abuse scandal in the modern world.
Over recent days, the Daily Mail has splashed its front pages with allegations about the Labour deputy leader, her husband, Shadow Minister Jack Dromey, and the former Labour Health Secretary Patricia Hewitt,
who were involved in the paedophile network, and they were trying to lower the age of consent. And while these children were being tortured and raped, and this is what's happening. Police Scotland arrest migrant grooming gangs but kept it secret. Scotland arrested a group, this is under the SNP, of asylum seekers who had abused at least 44 victims, including a core group of 6 girls who were all known to each other. One of the youngsters has been abused by potentially up to 28 asylum seekers, and another by 23 people. The asylum seekers came from a range of backgrounds, including Kurds, Egyptians, Iraqis, Moroccans, Pakistanis, Turkish community. Police Scotland identified 55 suspects of the abuse ring and positively identified 46 of the abuse. The operation that took them down was named Operation Guerilla, and took place in 2020. Police Scotland kept the details secret from the media and general public. The activities of the migrant grooming Muslim child rape gangs only came to attention of the media due to the investigation of the Daily Express newspaper that accessed briefings from the 2016 operation that are stored in the archives of Glasgow Child Protection Committee, requested for information under the Freedom of Information about operations. I think they should do that more. There's another one with Afghans doing that at Glasgow Cross. I'm trying to look for something particular. This is people commenting what I said, so let's see what Sarwar said about it.
Names of the 3 people in Glasgow who were murdered by the Muslim asylum seeker. Can you tell us what happened with the rapes of children in Glasgow from fake asylum seekers who were raping kids, and then it was covered up by the actual...
I think you should take your far-right nonsense somewhere else.
Well, I would kindly disagree that it's far-right nonsense if it's in the press and it's been noted by the police. Unless everybody's far-right apart from the actual Muslim rape gangs who are raping Scottish children, and it's been covered up by the state.
I would think that somebody that supports as a Muslim who supports a prophet who had sex with a 9-year-old girl and had sex slaves, I think that's more of an issue, is it not, than my right-wing nonsense. I'm actually a centrist libertarian liberal, to be honest with you. You I think, are a member of a globalist Islamo-Marxist party, the GIMPs.
Excuse me, I just want to say I was witness to something about a Muslim.
So here comes Fenella out of Chorlton, the Wheelies, saying, I was witness something about a Muslim, and he's just saying the communist word racist. I think that's the only word Peter knows, but it's good to see that the MSN are protecting the nephew of a person who was convicted of paedophilia and who is now dismissing the rapes of children, the cover-up of rapes of children by Muslims like he is, and the MSN is protecting from him answering questions, because he certainly won't ask it. And there is racism here, but the racism is towards the children who are being raped by the Muslim fake asylum seekers, and who are being covered up by the politicians, and in turn covered up by the MSN, the political class.
Sorry, it's on tape. It's going out. We're going out live. We're going out live anyway, bud. It's all right.
So what's your favourite word?
We're going live.
Well, if you're live, I want all of your audience to know I was witness to you making a racist comment.
So that's a lie. So I would say that's slanderous by ITV, because I never said anything racist. But there is racism and probably sectarian rape and ideologically, religiously motivated rape. There is racism and problems there. But Peter's defending the nephew of the paedophile as the MSN. And just like the counsellors and the police and the social services are covering it up.
Oh, it's up. Islam's not a race, buddy.
I think that's quite enough of that, but Islam is definitely not a race, buddy. So what have they said here? Who's the sorry looking bodyguard appearing in 40 seconds there asking if he heard somebody dare to question Islam? Absolute melt. I think that's Peter the Plonker Smith from ITV. Oh, there is Peter the Plonker Smith. Disgraceful. I hope him, not me. Let's see what the outcome. Definitely him. Horrible bastard he is. You're doing God's work. Oh well. And who was the wee snivelling white knight in Farinus? Should all resign? Sex scandal, little children and women, and while that was happening in little cases, men would be used and abused for slaves on farmland here in the UK. There's back to Anis's brother. Is the convicted paedophile and uncle to Anis Sarwar, Lord Ahmed, giving advice to Rotherham police about child rape? And don't forget there was a big scandal about child rape by Muslims in Rotherham. Let's see what this is. Police in Glasgow warn over victim blaming as 666 cases of child grooming recorded in Scotland. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at so another YouTuber, I mean, don't forget they tried to frame me up with false racist allegations outside the Labour conference. They've now tried to arrest Dave from Silver Fox. The Silver Fox, go and subscribe to him. They've arrested Craig Houston, the leader of the Social Democratic Party, a centre-left party. So let me just see. Oh, there's Basil. I might join that. That's a great political broadcast with Basil. Latest news and politics with Basil. Let's see what they're saying.
What are you smiling at?
Have a look at this. I've just checked to see if we were affected by that PCP scandal.
Epstein files, right? And I was like, oh, everyone went, holy crap, you know. And again, look, a day and a half's gone by. They've obviously had a chat. Yeah. Both sides have deleted the tweets. Now, look, deleting tweets, what does it do? Once it's up there, it's there forever, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, the damage has been done in some respects. But the truth of the matter is that you've got this guy who was brought in, Elon Musk, to do a job, to save a load of money, right? To fix...
Interesting chats. I like the chats on X. I'm missing the chats on X. They were great. So this is him being charged. So they just make up things. The Muslim woman from the council was completely racist. Said the council was old, male and pale and stale. I don't know why they don't just go back home. This woman here, horrible, horrible woman. So Craig Houston... So there's one convictions.
Rape.
British convict terror member demand new mugshot over head covering. Where is that? That's very weird. What's let's try and get on just Craig's channel and see if
Convictions.
see this. It's quite difficult to actually now find things. You need to go into videos and shorts and change it. Labelled a terrorist, Houston. SNP lose Hamilton by-election to Labour third. Let's see if it's alive. Pensioners. I don't know, I can't see it. But it was about, what it was about the increase in the number of sexual assaults in Glasgow. Breaking news, sectarian, Humza. 2 machetes in East Kilbride, that's 9 months ago. See, they're not up to date. Let's see. Info in the South Park. Reform. Could. No. It's not there. Let's go back to this. See if we can find this. So you've got to find the so even Twitter or X is covering up certain things. So you've then got to go into most viewed. So let's go up to most viewed. I can't even see it. You can do it easily. Most viewed. No. So this has nearly got 250,000 views already, but they've covered up things here. So there's certain things that are not here that have been covered up on X. Certain things I'll talk about with regard to Sarwar and his corrupt family. That's very interesting. Craig covers the takedown of the grooming gangs. Let's see if we can find this. So say the champion quits Labour front bench over rape article because the higher Labour echelons were complicit. This is Patricia Hewitt backed NCC policy lowering the age of consent. Afghan men look to exploit children. Ex-cop claims. That's another one. That's not the one that the 3. I think there's 3 separate. Look into asylum seekers grooming children in Glasgow alone. Covered up with the SNP and the Labour Party. So by voting for them, you're actually complicit in the cover-up. What have they said? Isn't the guy who repeated Humza's anti-white speech just another Humza, just after Humza said it? Isn't that the guy? Yeah, that is the guy. Get them. They run because they are guilty. Yeah, he's yet another marzipan dildo in the bedside drawer. That is Hollywood. Shame on them for turning a blind eye to the criminal elements affecting their communities. He's probably one of them. Who was that anal licking snitch who ran up? Peter the Plonker Smith he's talking about. Keep posting this video until the guy leaves Scotland. Shaming him. Oh no, he said Islam the horror. What a joke. That is the definition of scum that we have in politics today. where most of our problems come from. It's because politicians are the criminals. The little lapdog who enters the fray late is good for a laugh. He's finished. Remove the combatant. Now, there's a good chance that we already know that the Sarwars can cheat. They've got some ways of cheating, probably the mass ballot stuffings and things like that from postal votes and other ways of actually cheating. So it might be the fact that they cheated in the Hamilton by-election. Could be that. I think we need police to be stronger on proper fairness of the democratic process, and I think we should get rid of postal votes, hiding something maybe, the OK Today monopoly, go to jail and it's got Keir Starmer's. You all need to take back your country by whatever means necessary. It seems to be everywhere, folks. A member of the Ummah defends Ummah tactics. Brilliant. The problem is with the people of this religion being in a sort of power in the UK. They cover up what is really going on. They will always lie for their own. Wow. There is no far right that you speak of. It's only concerned citizens. Never vote Labour. It seems to all decent people are far right. Well, apparently they're terrorists now. If you say that we're being invaded or being ethnically replaced. There's some great comments here. I'm just going to skip. I'm looking for some particular. So this is in the Hare Krishna one. Let me try and look at it another way. Oh, there he is. That's what I was talking about with Craig there. Dear Scottish Government, can you give the good people of Scotland any indication to why this is on the increase? Thanks in advance. 7 rapes a day in Scotland as sex crimes soar 16% in a year. Shocking figures reveal extent of SNP's failure to protect women. More than 7 rapes a day are being reported to Police Scotland. After a rise of nearly 16% in the past year. There was also a sharp increase in the number of recent rapes, those which are alleged to have happened within the past 12 months before a victim contacts police. The proportion of rapes solved is only around 53%. 53%, fueling concerns that hundreds of victims are being let down by the I think it's creaking justice system. I still think that, somebody who reports a false sexual allegation is the criminal, and it should also be put in trial. And I think we need to bring in polygraph tests. If we brought in polygraph tests for both the convicted, accused and accuser, we would be able to find out a lot quicker who is actually lying. Some person might be a psychopath or a sociopath where the lying is actually made easier because they are able to lie. So There we are, here we go. So here we go again. So this is me.
Paedophile or now.
This is me again saying something that sounds extreme, but I'm going to prove to you that it's not extreme. So are you ready?
Now, you don't have to be a paedophile or corrupt to get on the Labour Party candidates list, but it certainly helps.
So people will say, wow, Dave, that's a bit extreme, but here we go. If you just look under this video, you can see what it says here, Hare Krishna, and just look. So councillors, Labour councillors and police had sex with abuse victims. Now in Rotherham. Now don't forget, Anna Sarwar's uncle was advising the police. Convicted paedophile Lord Ahmed was advising the police in Rotherham, and it's now saying that councillors and police had sex with Rotherham abuse victims. Sordid allegations emerged as council is branded not fit for purpose by inspectors. This is why the Labour Party and Anna Sarwar don't want a national investigation into Muslim child rape gangs. Because they're up to their necks in it. And here's a Hackney Labour councillor charged over pornographic images of children. A Hackney councillor faces charges relating to indecent images of children. 36-year-old Tom Dewey has charged with offences relating to pornographic images as part of the National Crime Agency investigation. He was arrested by, and these are all Labour, this is all Labour, arrested by National Crime officers, and this is on TikTok. I've not done any personal research myself. This is on TikTok, and yet this has come up, and his home in Hackney in April 2022, and was released under supervision. A perverted Labour councillor tried to meet a male child through Grindr. John Robert Reynolds, 43, suffered what a judge said was a spectacular fall from grace, but this is endemic to the Labour Party. Wyres Forest Labour Council leader James Shaw made pornographic photos of a child. Muslim Labour councillor 34 who shared images of children being raped and stashed of 100 sex abuse videos on his iPhone and laptop is jailed for more than 3 years. Labour Gillingham, sorry, apologise. Labour Gillingham MP, Labour Gillingham MP pleads guilty to possessing and distributing pornographic images of children. Labour Member of Parliament Paul Clark, who represented Gillingham for 13 years, has pled guilty for possessing pornographic images. There's him with Tony Blair. There's Anna Sarwar's uncle, Nazir Ahmed, Lord Ahmed, one of Labour many alien Lord peers, has been jailed for child sex offences. Anna Sarwar's Labour peer uncle, Lord Nazir Ahmed of Rotherham, advising police on how to rape children and get away with it, has been jailed for 5.5 years, sexual abuse. Labour councillor Craig Edward charged with possessing indecent images of children. Disgraced Sunderland Labour councillor spared jail for online grooming of Guerilla. Sunderland Labour councillor Thomas Wright jailed for 15 years for sex attack on children. Wolseley Labour Council leader escaped prison sentence for paedophile offences. Labour Party shows Minister Eric Joyce pleads guilty to making indecent movie of child. Exeter City Labour councillor at Centre of Child Pornography Program. Dudley Labour councillor Derek Hamlings appears in court charged with taking pornographic pictures of children. Labour Lord Mayor jailed for child sex offences. After rising Labour Party star appears in court over child sex offences, Moray Labour councillor Sean Morton, 35, faces 4 criminal charges. Drug dealing Labour councillor caught with thousands of rape images of children avoids jail. A Labour Party councillor has been given a jail sentence despite being caught with thousands of rape. A Labour Party councillor has not been given a jail sentence despite being caught with thousands of rape images. Hull Labour Party councillor Stephen Baines has been charged with making and hoarding rape images of children. Labour Party councillor David Fagan has been arrested and charged with possessing a hoard of child rape images. Manchester Party councillor David Royal arrested on suspicion of child rape. Labour councillor Richard Smith faces prison after confessing to child pornography offences. Thurrock Labour councillor Terry Brooks arrested on suspicion of possession of child pornography. Ex-Labour Party councillor hanged himself after being arrested for molesting a child. Marxist Bury Labour Party councillor appears in court charged with 16 counts of making rape images of children. Peter Paedophile Labour Westminster election candidate admits making indecent images of children. Labour election agent jailed a third time for paedophilia. A paedophile Labour Party election agent was sentenced to prison for a third time. Jewish Labour councillor and head teacher for Skelmersdale, West Lancashire District Council Malcolm Ford gets 15 years prison for child rape. Ex-Labour Party chairman Stanley Town Council admits raping a schoolboy. Ticking time bomb. Labour Party election candidate James Warmer, who filmed up underage girls' skirts, escapes jail this week, but he must take part in 3-year sexual treatment programme. Child rape images of children of Labour friend of Israel and Freemason James Purnell computer. Now, don't forget, the Labour Party have covered up the Muslim rape gangs, so the actual information of Muslim child rape gangs in the UK is completely inaccurate because it's been covered up at the council level, at social security level, at local level, at national level, at the Labour Party conference, because the Labour Party are a nonce party. Homosexual PR Lord Tony Pandy accused of child rape. Ex-Labour Lord Mayor Barry Dodson charged with child rape. Rotherham, he's in Rotherham, and he was the ex-Labour Lord Mayor. Child abuse directives raid Jewish Labour Party peers' office in the House of Lords. Officers from Lancashire Police search Lord Grenville Janner's office and have made seized computer equipment. The red paedophile in blue, the Labour Party candidate in the Hounslow Council election, Gupa Verdi, have been accused of raping a child. Woodside and Maiden Labour Parish Councillor Graham White caught taking pornographic photographs of a child. Out to the seaside, Labour Party predator, paedophile, child social worker and primary school governor Michael Tomes, Labour Party child social worker and ready-made councillor, has been jailed for making indecent images of children being raped over the internet. Labour Lord Mayor John Murray jailed for child rape. A Labour Lord Mayor has been remanded in custody for a sentence after a jury today convicted him of raping a child 2 years ago. Mayor on the run. A Labour Party mayor and primary school teacher has been arrested for possessing child rape photographs. This can't be an accident. Labour Party paedophile Ian Rankin, aged 47, has been caught with a hoard of child rape movies. Gamlin's stash. Homosexual Labour Party spin doctor Samuel Gamlin likes them young. Homosexual spin doctor and advisor to Labour Party's Samuel Gamlin has been arrested and charged with making and distributing obscene films of children being violently raped and abused by adults. Transvestites plaything. A Labour Party councillor and her transvestite lover who subjected a minor to 3-week rape ordeal has been jailed. Susan Smith, 33, a former Labour Party councillor at St Martin's Ward in London Borough of Lambeth, was sentenced to a total of 18 months. Her transvestite boyfriend, Ronald Lineker, 53, was also jailed for 3 years. A taste of animals and children. Ex-Deputy Labour Party Lord Mayor John Johnston caught with hundreds of child rape images on his computer. Exeter City Labour councillor at centre of child porn probe. An Exeter Labour City councillor is under police investigation for child pornography offences. Wow, there's nobody here. Wow. So here we go.
A Labour MP and former minister has been arrested on suspicion of rape and child sexual assault. Dan Norris has been suspended from the Labour Party after he was questioned by police over the allegations on Friday.
So this is Katie Ferguson from The Sun.
Norris, who is 65 years old and the MP for Somerset and Hanham, was questioned over claims of historic sexual attacks on a girl and a rape allegation from the 2020s. Avon and Somerset police confirmed he had also been held on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Norris is an NSPCC trained child protection officer. He won his seat from
a trained child protection officer. Wow, man. These people need to start doing polygraph tests. Unbelievable.
MP Jacob Rees-Mogg in the July 2024 election. He had previously served as a Labour MP in Wonsdyke from 1997 to 2010. He became Mayor of the West of England in 2021, but cannot run again this year due to being a serving MP. After Labour swept to power last summer, Sir Keir welcomed Norris and other regional leaders to a Downing Street meeting. A Labour Party spokesman commenting on the allegations said, Dan Norris MP was immediately suspended by the Labour Party upon being informed of his arrest. We cannot comment further while the police investigation is ongoing. Norris was arrested and interviewed at a police station near his constituency home before being bailed. Avon and Somerset Police said in a statement, "In December 2024, we received a referral from another police force relating to an alleged non-recent child sex offences having been committed against a girl. Most of the offences are alleged to have occurred in the 2000s, but we are also investigating an alleged offence of rape from the 2020s. An investigation led by officers from Operation Bluestone, our dedicated rape and serious sexual assault investigation team, remains ongoing and at an early stage."
Wow.
On Saturday, January 11th,
Who's this from? This is from 5 Minutes. 5 Minutes School.
Ivor Kaplan, once a Labour MP for Hove and a former Defence Minister, was taken into custody following an operation orchestrated by a group of paedophile hunters. The dramatic event unfolded live on social media, with the arrest being streamed directly on a widely used platform like Facebook, capturing the attention of tens of thousands. The live stream, which lasted about half an hour, drew over 36,000 views and garnered more than 3,000 comments, showcasing the public's engagement and shock at the unfolding events. Sussex police have acknowledged the circulation of this footage online, stating they are aware of clips showing a man in Brighton being detained. They confirmed that a 66-year-old man, matching Kaplan's age, was arrested on suspicion of engaging in sexual communication with a child over the internet.
Wow. So this is Labour councillor Majid Rahman shared images of young children being raped, had more than 100 child abuse films and pictures, and on iPhone and Apple laptop.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and I've got to be careful how I put what I'm going to say here, but we know exactly what's going on with the party of the perv, the Labour Party. Pervs, peds and preds. That's what they are. We know it. So many of them, of course, have been convicted of this. You've got that guy, Dan, whatever his name is, down in Somerset. He's about to go to jail, I think, for the things he's done with children. Then we have, obviously, the long-term, multifaceted cover-up by many people in the Labour Party of the gangs for many, many generations now. Cover it up, sweep it away. In some cases, join in. This is Labour through and through. And then you get that shitbag, that complete subhuman piece of human shite, Powell, who talks about, oh, let's just call it a dog whistle. She won't apologise properly. And then Starmer comes out and he backs her. I've done the video on this.
So if you're voting for Labour like the people did in Hamilton, you're voting for this?
Well, now we've got,
and also the SNP.
Absolutely. The absolute icing on the cake. And this goes to show that we really need to do something about this government, because this is not a government. It is a bunch of absolute, dissolute, subhuman scum. Pond life. In fact, not even pond life.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong, Dave.
Not good news for the Labour Party. This is on
So this is Talk TV.
the the front page of the Mail and also the Mirror, various other papers. I saw it late last night. This is a Labour Member of Parliament being arrested on suspicion of rape and child sex offences. This is Dan Norris. He is a former minister. He's also the MP for North East Somerset, which he won from Jacob Rees-Mogg, if you remember.
Yes.
I think with 5,000, majority of 5,000 or thereabouts. He was arrested. He was taken into custody after police raided his constituency home on Friday. He previously worked as a teacher, a child protection officer. He's been suspended from the Labour Party. There is an outcome, pending the outcome of the police investigation. The party spokesman confirmed the arrest, saying Dan Norris MP was immediately suspended by the Labour Party upon being informed of his arrest. We cannot comment further, and rightly so. Now, I've just got to do this carefully. Now, Avon and Somerset Police said it is investigating a series of allegations against a man in his 60s. It said most of the offences are alleged to have occurred in the 2000s, but added it was also investigated an alleged offence of rape from the 2020s. A spokesman for the police said in December 2024 we received a referral from another police force relating to alleged non-recent child sex offences having been committed against a girl. Most of those do come from the 2000s, but one of those comes the alleged offence of rape from the 2020s. This is an investigation led by officers within Operation Bluestone. Our dedicated rape and serious sexual assault investigation team remains ongoing and at an early stage. The victim is being supported and given access to specialist help or support she needs. And they go further to say a man aged in his 60s was arrested on Friday on suspicion of sexual offences against a girl under the Sexual Offences Act of 1956, rape under the Sexual Offences Act of 2003, child abduction and misconduct in public office. He's been released on conditional bail for inquiries to continue. This is an active and sensitive investigation. We respectfully ask people not to speculate on the circumstances so our inquiries can continue.
Why?
Can we not go 1 week, just 1 week, without a Labour Party child abuse scandal? Former Labour MP Ivor Kaplan was arrested by police after getting nabbed by one of those nonce hunter groups.
Sorry, this is the great Leo Hurst. Leo Cursed. I knew that. Said the right the first
They're
time.
probably the best thing about Britain right now. They set up nonces by pretending to be kids who want to meet them and then live stream themselves on Facebook, nabbing the nonces in the car park of Asda with a carrier bag full of Alco Pops. Ivor Kaplan was caught at Hove train station by a group called Stop Stings, who'd posed as a 15-year-old boy he was on his way to meet. Take a look at this.
You told this child that you was going to go and meet him.
That wasn't, because Stephen will be at work.
At 1 o'clock, you said that you was going to go and meet him at quarter to.
If we could. I don't know, trains, etc.
Yeah, you see.
I don't know.
But wait, here's the slippery thing. You said you have no intention, but now you concede that actually, I might have been planning to take this child to meet Stephen. So you admit that that's what you were trying to do.
I don't know his age.
You know his age accurately. This child regularly.
If I knew his actual age,
this
and
child.
I didn't know that, then I wouldn't do anything. Obviously.
This child regularly told you that they were at school and they were doing school-related activities.
In June 2024, he was suspended from the Labour Party over serious allegations, although the nature of these allegations was not disclosed at the time. Oh, how unlike the Labour Party. And hilariously, another Labour politician nonce came out of the woodwork to defend him. Owen Jones, who isn't the nonce by the way, he looks more like a nonce's victim, tweeted quite sensibly, the big question about Ivor Kaplan is who knew what, when, and what action did they take? Bill Kirkbride replied, who knew what? He is a horny gay man who wanted a sexual encounter and age did not concern him, or so it seems. 15 or 16, his age being early 60s. Is he a monster? Yes, Bill, he is. Bill was a Labour politician until he was caught sending messages to an undercover officer pretending to be a 14-year-old boy. Makes you wonder if some of these nonces actually just have a fetish for talking to grown men who are pretending to be 14-year-old boys, who later arrest them in the car park of Asda. I went to Bill's Twitter profile page, and rather awkwardly his last post was sharing my last video about the grooming gangs. He seems to be furious that he spent 426 days in prison when he could have just grown a beard, opened a kebab shop and filled his boots, while the establishment and Labour just smiled benignly on and let him get on with it. The response from other lefties was equally deranged. The far left jumped on this one incident as equivalent to decades of abuse and murder by Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs and tried to make it about Zionism for some reason, just because Ivor's Jewish. I assume that because he isn't a Muslim, Ivor's race and religion won't be brought up during coverage of this scandal. Just imagine if his name was Abdul instead of Ivor, or if he was a friend of Palestine instead of being a former Jewish Labour movement chair. So Ivor, a few decades ago, current high-profile Labour figures were closely involved with paedophile group the Paedophile Information Exchange, or PI for short. Yeah, they called it PI. They somehow found a way to add an extra layer of repulsiveness to paedophilia by naming their nonce group after soggy pastry with a boiled meat filling. I guess pies and noncing are both popular in northern towns in England. Hope they open an American branch, because they're going to get a lot of confused people looking for information on Stifler's mom. Let's have a look at the links between the Paedophile Information Exchange and the Labour Party. In the 1970s and 80s, the National Council for Civil Liberties, or NCCL, which is now known as Liberty, was staffed by people who went on to become senior Labour politicians. And during this time, they granted affiliate status to the Paedophile Information Exchange. This is the group advocating for the legalisation of sexual relations between adults and children. Let's have a look at the future Labour bigwigs who were in the NCCL during the time it was affiliated with PI. Patricia Hewitt served as General Secretary for the NCCL from 1974 to 1983. Under her leadership, the NCCL proposed lowering the age of consent to 14, with special provisions for children as young as 10. Hewitt later acknowledged this stance as naive and wrong. Oh, do you think so, Patricia? She went on to rise to very senior positions in the Labour government, including Health Minister. Harriet Harman joined the NCCL as legal officer in 1978. During her tenure, the organisation submitted a document advocating that sexually explicit photographs of children should only be considered pornographic if it could be proven that the subject suffered harm. Harman has expressed regret over the NCCL's affiliation with PI, but maintains that she never supported the group's objectives. Man, would you not just get up and run if that came across your desk? Just get a job in another organisation that doesn't Condition Exchange was working towards back in the 70s and 80s. The way things are going, you can expect to see minor attracted persons have their own progress flag chevron soon. And the way the Labour Party handle things, Keir Starmer will be criminalising nonce phobia and saying anyone who doesn't support pedos is guilty of far-right thuggery.
Yeah, never sure what's spoken.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and I've got to be careful how I put what I'm going to say here, but we know exactly what's going on with the party of the perv, the Labour Party. Pervs, peds and preds. That's what they are. We know it. So many of them, of course, have been convicted of this. You've got that guy, Dan, whatever his name is, down in Somerset. He's about to go to jail, I think, for the things he's done with children. Then we have, obviously, the long-term, multifaceted cover-up by many people in the Labour Party of the gangs for many, many generations now. Cover it up, sweep it away. In some cases, join in. This is Labour through and through. And then you get that shitbag, that complete subhuman piece of human shite, Powell, who talks about, oh, let's just call it a dog whistle. She won't apologise properly. And then Starmer comes out and he backs her. I've done the video on this. Well, now we've got, absolutely, the absolute icing on the cake. And this goes to show that we really need to do something about this government, because this is not a government. It is a bunch of absolute, dissolute, subhuman scum. Pond life. In fact, not even pond life. It's the wiping of toilet roll. That's what they are. This far left Marxist bunch of wankers that like to call themselves the Labour Party are scrapping a compensation programme for the victims of child sex abuse in Britain as part of its financial austerity measures. It can still send billions of pounds of taxpayers' money to Africa. Of course, it can commit hundreds of billions of taxpayers' money to the wankers in Ukraine who won't even enter into negotiations for peace. It can piss money away left, right and centre wherever it wants. But when it comes to the continued harm to children in this country, it is even more complicit because it doesn't want to chip in a brass farthing for compensation to the abuse they have suffered, often at the hands of the Labour Party. A national redress scheme for child abuse victims in England and Wales has been abandoned by the Home Office. Well, that's not surprising, is it? Despite the previous Conservative government promising to its victims, promised this to its victims in 2023. According to the news outlet Sky News, a Home Office report entitled "Tackling Child Sexual Abuse Process Update." I'm so angry. Cited costs for the decision to scrap the scheme, saying it is not currently taking forward any further steps due to the financial cost. So you have a Labour Party that is complicit in the rape of children, that does its best to cover up those crimes, that then protects the people who call it as a very minor thing, who says and names people who call them out on it as being far-right extremists. How dare you stand up for these children? What are you, far-right? And it's now pulling the plug on a scheme to give them compensation.
You can write it. If it's not that, it's the SNP framing Alex Salmond for false sexual allegations. You can write it. This is great.
I want to show you this map.
This young fella did a great job. Baraka Amuri. Baraka Yuri. I hope that I pronounced that correct, Baraka. But very good job in this video, mate.
I want to show you this map of the 25 to 50 plus Labour councillors, lords, member of parliament who have been caught adopting, texting and meeting young boys for sex. Yes, you heard me right. For sex.
It appears Britain is a safe haven for paedophiles.
Former State Labour Minister and convicted paedophile.
A paedophile who abducted a young girl as she walked home and sexually abused her for 27 hours.
As many as they may be, the 25 plus I found surprisingly did not spend a single day in jail. While we all might think we live in a country full of law and orders and justice for all, but the reality is that the law does not apply to the ones who influence the legislature. Before I get into this long list of pedophiles, I also want to shine light of this dodge bullet moment in our history. Let me introduce you to someone who wanted to lead this country not long ago, and how it would have been if they won. How would it have been for pedophiles if David Cameron did win in 2010 election? This is Harriet Harman. She was a deputy leader in Labour Party under Ed Miliband leadership. Between 1978 and 1982, she was employed as a legal officer for National Council for Civil Liberties, which was linked to an organization called Pedophilia Information Exchange, short for PI. PI campaigned for paedophilia's right. demanding age of consent to be lower than 9 years old.
I would be all in favour of children finding their own way sexually, but I think also that adults have a part to play.
How can a child of 12 make a mature judgment about something like sex for the first time, which it has not the first idea about, and cannot possibly weigh the consequences of it?
A child is able to recognize a pleasurable experience. He is able to express consent and to recognize that this is something he wishes to continue. And a responsible, caring pedophile, it always refers to the wishes of the child.
On April 28, 1978, Mrs. Ahmed wrote and sent in this letter to the government, defending and asking the government to change the new bill, the Protection of Children Act 1978. In this letter, she starts off with a statement. After careful scrutiny of Protection of Children Bill and bearing the above principles in mind, we have come to a conclusion that the looseness of this bill is statutory language and could permit damaging and indeed absurd prosecution and encourage an increase in censorship in areas which could not possibly be for public interest. As a lawyer, she was not happy with the language the government used in this Protection Bill Act in 1978, and she wanted to change something. And on the second page, she goes on fighting against the arrest of predators who hold pictures of children below the age of 10. And she argues that they should not be arrested unless there's physical harm on these children's face or body. But she goes even further, using this idea that I'm going to read out to you as an example why the government should change this law of indecent imagery of children. And here's the example she used. Against the marriage couple who take a photograph of their child in the nude and later show it to a friend who puts it on a display in his room. Yes, she used that as an excuse why the government should change the Protection Bill Act. And the last page, she fights for the maximum sentence for having children naked picture on your phone to be a leader of this country. Just sit and imagine how that would have been for these victims who go through this year after year. Just sit and imagine how justice would have looked like. Yeah, it would have been very difficult to even get anyone in jail, or even the age of consent will probably be 9. But thank God we dodged this bullet. Now that we know about this letter, let's get into the main part of this video, where we're going to map out all the Labour pedophiles so far that has been caught texting, sexually assaulting young children. So let's do it. Oh, sorry. Just before we carry on, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I've got nothing else to ask you apart from those 2, 3. Was it 2, 3? Comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah, those 3. And yeah, I'll see you on another video. And I hope you're enjoying this one. Let's get back to it. Is Eric Stewart Joyce, born in 13th October 1960, was a Scottish politician, former military officer, and he also served as a member of parliament from 2000 to 2015. Yes, a very long time. July 2020, Joyce admitted of making indecent images of children between 7th August 2013 and 6th November 2018. That's 5 years of trafficking indecent images of children. At his pre-trial hearing in Ipswich Crown Court, the judge described his single 51-second video found on his MacBook Air, I'm quoting, depicts a number of children, some quite young, one said to be 12 months old. 12 years old.
So these guys have been politically compromised, so it allows them, other people to like anus to, if they know about these sort of things, to rise to the top. So that's what happens in these things. You should go and look at that video in full. That was well done, Barack. That's absolutely superb.
Hi, welcome to a very quick episode of Hot Takes. Just going to go through this quickly. Lucy Powell has made a formal apology in the House over her disgusting remarks, where she said that all the things that happened to those girls was just dog whistle politics. What a shit she is, really. But I'm going to read what she has said to you. She stood up and said, and these are her words, "So I can be absolutely clear with the House today, especially to the victims and survivors of child sexual abuse and grooming gangs, that I'm very sorry for those remarks. As I made clear over the weekend," brackets, my voice, she did not make that clear over the weekend. It was barely an apology. It was the most minimal apology that she could get away with, where she was apologising for not being clear, not for the words she said. Anyway, back to what she said. "I and every member of this government want your truth to be heard, wherever that truth leads." Me again. "No, they don't, which is why they keep shutting down the independent inquiries. If they truly wanted the voices to be heard, they'd have the inquiries." So again, this lying shit is opening that gash of a mouth and letting bullshit pour out.
Yeah, well, I think that's, again, Dave on the money again, isn't it? There's former Labour MP Eric Joyce spared jail for making indecent images of children. There's Lord Ahmed, Anna Sarwar's paedophile uncle. That's him again. Lord Ahmed PR. Oh, no. What happened there? No.
Correctioner.
Nah.
Herrickshina. So there's ex-Labour peer Lord Ahmed of Rotherham, guilty of sodomising young boy and trying to rape a girl, and he was giving advice to the police in Rotherham. And here there's another fella. So this is a list from Damocles 561. Oppose nothing. The following is a thread of Labour Party officials who have been charged with child sex offences. This will be extremely long. Nevertheless, I do not know if it's exhaustive. Fair warning, within some of the worst sexual brutality against children I've ever read. So Alec Dyer Atkins, Labour councillor and school governor, received 2 years jail sentence. Lee Benson, Labour councillor Benson, pleaded guilty 12 counts of possession of indecent images. Labour councillor Neil Blend, IT school teacher. Mark Burton, Labour Party councillor for Darlington. Labour Calderdale councillor in 2009. He admitted 21 offences. Steve Cornell, referred to as Stephen Cornell in reports, Labour Party councillor. Sam Chowdhury, Labour Party councillor and Deputy Mayor of Merton, London. Paul Clark pleaded guilty to 3 counts of making indecent images. Labour council jailed for downloading child porn. Linston Tudor Davies, often spelt Linston, in some reports, Labour Party councillor in
Bracknell, Bridge End. David Dickon, bloody hell, man! I'll let you just read down these offences by yourself. Paul Dignett, Timothy Edmeads, whatever, Malcolm Ford. So I mean, this is a full list. Richard Harris. I mean, this is a full list of these individuals. It's unbelievable. These are all Labour Party councillors. A long and informative thread. Well done putting it together. So this is the full list. So you can go into this website or go into this up here with me saying that the Labour Party is full of paedophiles, and Harry Krishna's site if you want to find it, and it's just down in the comments. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. Somebody's laughing because I had said that you don't have to be a paedophile or corrupt to get on the Labour Party candidates list, but it certainly helps. He's correct though. That's the worrying thing for me. Add the Islamic Trojan horse and paedophilic teachings, and we've got a big problem all over the UK. Quite incredible. So I'm going to leave it there and wind it up there, but thanks very much for listening. Sorry my camera went, I should have plugged it in. But great effort for the other guys as well, who have all been speaking on this subject as well. But I just thought I would bring it to everybody's attention just now. And we can see if something can be done and stop voting for the Labour Party and the SNP, because they're complicit in this. They're not doing anything about it because they're complicit. And this is the thing you've got to understand. The complicity is who you're voting for. Unless you as a voter are okay with this to happen, then you have to start voting for the Labour Party and the SNP. If you're okay with these sexual offences happening, and I've now shown you without a shadow of a doubt that this is happening, then you need to stop voting for the Labour Party, SNP, and the people who are Muslims and find this acceptable. My baby gorillas.